away Ivan, Unicorns of Love may very well end up doing something a little bit tricky with their last ban. We'll still expect Camille ban. Rise taken away by Giants. They are, you know, pinpointing the solo lanes of Unicorn so far. Jace and Malzahar are probably going to be, either of them will be the last ban out by Giants here. I don't think Hilly's had a particularly strong Malzahar, but it has been banned pretty unanimously by all teams.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not the most complex of champions.
No, it's not.
And can be a game changer in team fights. Not that
we've got it finally. Okay, a team is leaving open potentially multiple. So now Giants either have to ban LeBlanc or Rengar here. Otherwise, they Camille or Rengar here. Otherwise, Unicorns of Love will take the second one as they go through. This is how Unicorns offset this. There goes the Rengar, here goes the Camille, and you force Giants into an Ivan Cassiopeia lane, or Unicorns force Giants to play Camille. We know Chachi can play against it because he's done it before, and we got all sense of trickery going on here, Trevor.
10 seconds left. We spoke to Sheepy about the power of Red Side and the option to really dictate the flow of a pick ban phase. Last ban will be the Camille, so unfortunately not the most tricky of starts.
But Ivan goes up in priority here for Giants again, which leaves Varus for the Unicorns if they want it. We also have Zyra and Malzahar still both available, which is fairly uncommon here. Oh, so they give away the Ivan.
Do you prefer that? I mean, that's a comfort pick for Hikyu. You're denying it from Samux.
Only if Unicorns don't pick Jace in this first 3 picks. Sorry, not Jace, Jhin. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Jhin is the pick Unicorns can take. Ivan would make sense alongside it. Last game, they also had high priority on that Shen, but that's banned away as well. I'm going to slow down so I stop tripping over my words.
I think that's right. That's good here. So the Jhin is already locked in, so it's that matchup once again. Last time round, Hilly's Tahm Kench was fantastic. Xerxes on screen looks really comfortable and relaxed and has got a plethora of champions to pick from.
Exactly, whether it's the Warwick or the Ivern, if they want it here. They can also save it for the next rotation, or save it for their last pick so that you can ban away the Graves right after. That will be the likely counter from Giants, is take Graves here. Remember, it was banned in game 1.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't available as a jungle matchup.
Banned in game 1 because, of course, UOL were on the blue side this time round. Had to ban away a few of those power picks. Tried some of the trickery. Now, Twisted Fate's a champion we've seen a couple times over in North America. A little early to lock that in with so many potential counters and red side for Unicorns of Love. Graves as anticipated.
If they want to go support here, they can take the Zyra, which is available, which kind of will end up pinching Unicorns, but we know Hylissang has the Tahm Kench, the Bard, they've got the Malzahar available, so Giants can't remove the full champion pool for Hylissang, and if they pick support here, Unicorns are likely to go mid lane at the end of the first phase, because then you can pick up something like the Corki or the Orianna, ban away the Syndra, ban away the other one of the two, and have your priority mid lane pick here.
All right, priority mid lane pick is something that Unicorns can play to. If Giants were to consider pinching a role, do you think top lane is something they could think about? Do you think they'd even want to? I mean, Shen is off the table. They could look at removing some of those tanks that Chachi is defaulted to.
Well, with Shen, Poppy gone, Shen, Camille gone, Poppy remains the last pick that really Chachi's played a lot of. Jace is gone as well. So it is support that they go with. They don't want to have the Tahm Kench banned away. This likely implies that Hylissang doesn't really want to play Bard into this matchup, wants the Tahm Kench among everything else to try and run the same comp as last time.
I mean, if nothing else, right, it worked. The Tahm Kench plus Ivern plus, well, anybody was such a big game changer.
Unicorns potentially looking for first pick Maokai here, banning the Rumble away. Could also opt for the Poppy if it ends up getting through the ban phase out by Giants. Yeah. But of course, Giants also have the option to go Syndra ban here if they want it, or the Orianna or the Corki.
I think it's so important to note the different ban options here for Giants. They've elected to remove Orianna, so with quite a few mid lane picks off the table, that's sort of safe. Champion is gone, Corki's still up, Syndra's still up, Talia's still up. These are champions that we've seen several times, and I think it's also important to note that Exile has run Kassadin in the past, has run Katarina in the past, their red side, and they could opt into one of those more risky mid laners.
Could very well. Unicorn's still opting towards something like a Maokai first pick here, taking away the blind pickable mid laner that everybody wants to run. With Cat banned, Cassiopeia and Corki now still the two. Okay.
Yeah. So playing it somewhat as predicted. No real shenanigans just yet. Good poke, good damage on the side of UOL. Even more global pressure once Exile picks up the special delivery package. Giants and UOL need to lock in their top laners. Will it be a tank v tank, or will you have something more fun? I feel it's going to be tank v tank.
I feel like it'll either be tank v tank or tank versus tank shredder like a Trundle. Giants, Flaxish has played a whole lot of Maokai. Ooh, that's a pick we haven't seen in Europe in quite a while.
That's also a Knight special. He played a lot of Zilean last year.
He did.
With the Giants squad.
He did. We haven't seen Zilean here in Europe, and with Giants putting a lot of focus on protection on this rotation here. Getting the Zilean for themselves, Maokai alongside it. Okay, and it's tank versus outscale and split push in that top lane as Chachi locks in. The GP was available this time. Banned in the first game, but that was by the Unicorns.
So much damage, again global pressure on the side of UOL. What do you make of these two team compositions? A fairly traditional front line with this Maokai and eventually Graves, who's going to scale up. But then all of a sudden, some shenanigans with Zilean. Not something we've seen a whole lot of. Definitely none in Europe.
No, we've only really been seeing it more so as almost a support champion in other regions as well. But this Zilean in mid lane is a bit of a spanner in the works now. Varus, very difficult to kill in this matchup, but that's if Giants get themselves to a situation where they're not behind like the last game. Through the Maokai, through the Zileans can be very, very tough. But Unicorns, they've shown they can team fight up against the numbers, disadvantage, everything.
Okay, let's keep our eyes on Knight Zilean, see how that works out. As you mentioned, Stress has been played support over in NA as well as LCK. And now it's going to be in Knight's hands in the mid lane. He's got a lot of damage to back that up with the Graves, the Varus, the Zyra. Some scaling on their side. For Unicorns, visit Chachi's Gangplank. How much gold can he farm with those barrels? And where does Xerxes spend his time? You know, a lot of options because there's so much damage, and with the fact that he's bringing CC in his kit, Xerxes can kill anybody. It's Giants versus Unicorns of Love. Game 2. Visit Chachi, the man on your screen right now, as we flash over to Giants and the Love Hurts crew once again cheering on the crowd. Stress, what do you make of these team compositions? What do you like and dislike?
I'm glad we got a little bit of variance here. I think it's good that Memento got his hands on the Graves, the farming jungler alongside that Ivan. So don't expect too much action in the early game, but then I guess Ivan was in the last game and we saw Xerxes pick him off. I think Giants have a kind of a better rounded comp when you look at everything except mid lane.
Somebody pet the kitty.
Ouch.
No, that's not petting the kitty.
I'll be honest, when like in old naval times, I'm pretty sure keeping animals like cats on board was just a waste of food and rations. So GP's probably not that used to seeing cats.
Touche.
Especially not giant trees in a cat.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think he's going to get some poke down on Samix. Samix and Hilly, though, playing very, very aggressively with that tongue lash. Trying to push forward, get some bush control. Also deny the plants, you know? Deny some of that setup that we see Zyras do oh so often. Yeah,
we've very commonly seen this with multiple people, and that's one of the difficulties now. If Giants don't know how many people are down there, if that were the case, they would be more scared. But I think Giants have clocked on with that ward now that there's nobody else there. But
got the ward as well, so Sam's going to be happy with that one. He's going to continue to chase. Almost. Getting the ability to stun up Hikyu. All right, consumables slowly being burned through. Longsword starts. And the Biscuits. It's the race for level 2. We take a quick glance up top. Arcane Smash from Flaxish. And I think Chachi won that trade.
Yeah, just a little bit. Of course, Corrupting Potion for Flaxish and his passive will help him get back up. So Xerxes doesn't have Smite here, so he can't just walk in, but there is a ward here that he placed. trying to just know that Memento is there. He caught him out.
Yes, indeed. Trigger Seed's gonna pop in a second.
The roam from Corki already.
Exhaust as well. Here comes Knight. Knight's got the stun. The bomb blows up and Knight gets first blood. Memento's running for his life, trying to get the damage down with the end of the line. There's no chrono shift available yet. Vizicachi sidestepping for his life. That bomb I don't think will kill him.
So.
Especially not with the shield. They trade 1 for 1.
1 for 1, more even for Giants than the last game. Memento was caught out on that ward. It was the roam up from Exile at first, but they got Xerxes, well, they got Exile down before he could really assist Xerxes too much. Of course, it was Chachi picking up the kill in the top lane, and I'll give him a little bit of a boost towards his scaling potential, but this was the attempted steal again. So Memento was trying to just offset some of Xerxes' early pathing, trying to make sure that he couldn't get in to smite it down. Recognized, though, as Xerxes was coming through. Exile coming up from the lane gave it away. Memento was able to kind of kite back down for a little while. And just flashes forward to try and get the kill.
Such good heads play from Unicorns. Placing that defensive ward, predicting or anticipating some form of invade. That means Unicorns, they get one back, but remember they gave up first blood. It was picked up by Knight. Knight also has teleport as a summoner spell. It is not matched because obviously Exile's running Exhaust.
What I like though is Giants instantly recognizing what was happening. As soon as Exile left the lane, Knight was out of the lane as well. Just moving quickly, the communication to Memento that, hey, Exile's moving, so it's likely they know where you are, just allowed Giants to react better than they did in the last game. And that was really a sticking point early game, was Giants didn't seem to be quite on the same page with when they were skirmishing, when they were not fighting and backing away from the scenario.
We caught a quick glimpse there of Exile trading with Knight. He managed to sidestep that second time bomb. So that means was not caught out by the stun. And I think you mentioned it a moment ago, Stress, the fact that Vizicachi got the kill and got the blue buff, just going to allow him to take control of this lane. Pushing in very heavily, spamming out those shots, and there'll be pressure on Flexish to farm under tower now, but luckily with Maokai and with the support you have Memento.
Chachi's pushed up,
Chachi,
no flash.
No flash at all, locked down. He's just going to get shut down really easily. Memento takes a red buff.
And that was everything Flaxish was trying to set up in that top side. You spoke about how, you know, that should give Vizicachi the advantage. Well, Flaxish was just holding it ever so slightly off his tower, trying to build up a big wave, so when Chachi eventually gets ganked by Memento, there was no real chance. They're waiting for Chachi to TP back into the lane. That's why Memento's sitting here, but wait, bot lane.
Oh, Samex takes a lot of damage. He flashes forward with the piercing arrow. The outplay, Samex and Hilly, they get shut down where they stand. Vizicachi did teleport back up. We'll quickly glance back down bottom. Hilly's running forward. The tongue lash in one more auto does the job. Exhaust onto Hikyu. Trigger Seed shield, maybe all that's needed. Not, because just the red buff and the autos. All right, did Chachi survive that one? Yes, he did. Memento's gonna repeat gank.
Oh no, again up to the top lane.
Uno Memento, por favor, is what Giants are yelling. And that's all Memento will get. One kill, uno mas.
Just the repeat ganks topside again and again and again, trying to just put them as far behind as they can. But Giants are actually trading fairly effectively across the map against the Unicorns, better than they did in the last game. This was the bot lane exchange where eventually they went on to Hustlin to try and get the kill. They weren't anticipating Hikyu just flashing aggressively for Samex. Starts charging the Q, lets it go, flash instantly as the animation finishes, and follows up with the auto. Back up from the top lane at the second point, but it was Xerxes roaming down. Hylissang and Xerxes thinking they can take out Hustlin as the exhaust goes down on Hikyu. Ends up going pretty well for them on the bot lane.
Xerxes could just smell that something was up. And he was able to get in there and respond effectively, you know. But keep in mind, Hustlin and Hikyu have been pushing the whole time. And that was the opportunity. So Unicorns of Love, they're even at 6 minutes. Giants, with their team composition, they've at least traded blow for blow. 1 kill apiece for Memento, Knight, and Hikyu.
And that's, you know, where it goes wrong. When you push too hard in that bot lane where you're overstepping without the wards, down comes the jungler, and suddenly just the support comes and kills you with the jungle.
There's just no follow-through for Giants. And that was, you know, that was what was lacking. And looking at your minimap right now, Exile, Flash and Exhaust available. Exile's going to at least Valk forward, and Memento actually not coming up for support. So what could have been a collapse onto Exile. Ends up being a slow invade here for Ivan. End of the line, bounces back, burns through the shield eventually. And now Hilly sidestepping. Hiku is almost in Devour range. One more shot. Gets gobbled up. Teleport coming down for Flaxish.
Oh,
no,
Knight!
Knight! He flashed! Oh, Chrono Shift to save his life. I think he would have died anyway. Devour range once again. Flash forward from Samux. Where's Exile? No, it's not going to be in trouble. Cannon Barrage! Boom!
And boom goes the chances of Giants coming out even in this. Oh, Unicorns just taking the good fights across the map again. This time, Knight tried to TP out, cancels the TP, flashes in case of a phosphorus bomb or the rocket that comes through and ends up just taking the auto attack. Knight, if he'd have dodged and maybe stayed alive, it would have looked great, but then realizes he's got to deal with his Corki as soon as he comes back out of that ultimate.
All right, Flaxish, I hope you got a sweet tooth, because here comes Daisy! All right, looking for the knock-up from Daisy, almost there. Locks down Flaxish, so does the Root. And Flaxish will tank up a long time thanks to the Maelstrom, but Unicorns with their 7th kill.
Hey, look, if Daisy's going to come to the top side this often, Maokai is not going to be a root. He's going to need a root canal at this point, as Unicorns are looking to push down that turret. Chachi trying to attack it down as well. Here comes Hilly into the mid lane. Oh, the package.
Yeah, package is just going to land onto Knight. He gets himself a lashing from Hilly's tongue, and Exile picks up the kill. I mean, this is great. Unicorns had a reactive team fight, much like game 1. But now they're playing proactive.
And again, they're looking proactive.
There's no flash from
They brought Exile.
Exile gets another. This is just fantastic play from the Unicorns of Love.
And this time it is proactive, as you were saying. The analyst desk talked about this, about how they were reacting, playing to Giants, just running at them time and time again. This time Unicorns, their composition kind of facilitates. They need to be more active here. Yes, they have disengage tools and GPLs to try and get yourself away, but if they're using them actively, that's when the strength comes from it. Using the package to punish Knight when he has no summoners in mid lane. Using the Abyssal Voyage to punish Hiku when he has no summoners in bottom lane. They're just doubling down on everything they have when it comes to their global presence, and Unicorns are using it very effectively.
I mean, Unicorns have just got a team of 5 individuals who are playing exceptionally well in their roles at the moment. You know, they're really showing up in every engage. Then as a team, their communication in team fights is fantastic. Taking a look at Xerxes, he's going to try to stop this invade from Memento. There's a little bit of support from Flaxish. That means there could be pressure on Exile. So let's keep a close eye on how this plays out. As it stands, Giants back away. But yeah, to bring a closer eye on Xerxes versus Memento, Xerxes' first pick, Ivan, was exceptional in game 1. Oh, I'm not going to be allowed to talk about this because Hustlin's hungry. Again, he just wants to get fed. Devours up, will be able to spit Hiku backwards. Samux comes forward and just brings the hammer down. Hilly's not done. Hilly's still chasing because he knows he's got support from Exile and Samux.
It's just not even fair anymore.
Oh, man.
Hiku held his flash because he thought, okay, after Devour finishes, I'll flash away. Well, Samux lands his W and easily trades it. Samux did die in the second half of that exchange.
Yes.
We'll take another look at how that exactly happened.
At the moment, though, there's going to be some more fighting, I believe. Yep, that's right. Unicorns went for the trade. I think Hilly and Exile went for tower dive. That's what played out. We will likely get a replay of that. But yeah, I was talking about Xerxes versus Memento because Xerxes' impact this game, or this series, has just continued to be mind-boggling. 2-0-3 on this Ivern. His redemption down bottom. You can see team jungle proximity, kills plus assists at 15 minutes is 8 from game 1. And over a 1,300 gold lead. He's on track to keep up that level of performance right now. Already 400 gold up.
And that team jungle proximity indicates how close Xerxes is to the rest of his team, the other members. And a lot of people would say, oh, Unicorns, you know, they were just fighting effectively. A lot of this was the team saving Xerxes at the same time and then just turning around to fight miraculously and kind of destroying everyone. So it's a positive and a negative for him at the same time.
I mean, it goes back to that discussion that we've had around how Unicorn's playstyle that game was reactive outskilling, right? They had numbers disadvantages at times.
Oh, is this the dive?
This is
okay.
I mean, Memento just wanted to clear the wave. But at least he gets a kill. At least he gets one back. Oh, and a teleport from Knight. So that's actually a big cooldown.
We're sticking on this. I was going to say, does Knight die there as well?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Round. Xerxes brought Daisy in. Thank you, crowd, for getting as excited as I do about that ultimate. Unicorns of Love. Looking to be collapsed in the tri-bush down bottom. I'm looking at the minimap.
Oh, Samix has the complete safety.
Redemption buys some time for Hilly. Here comes Xerxes, flash away from Hikyu. Looking for CC. Exile could look to cut them off in the back. Flash is available for him. Flashes forward for Hikyu. That is just such confident play.
Flaxish cancelled his TP, so Chachi cancelled his, and the Unicorns still maintain the numbers advantage on the bot side of the map. Now they're going to take tower first blood as well. It's rushing in the mid lane as well, but they just Abyssal Voyaged up to mid to try and stop that tower push. So Samik's going to get the tower in exchange for denying Giants anything.
Yeah, really good play. Tower first blood picked up, saving the mid lane tower. Sheepy, a very focused man backstage. Romain does not know what the word focus means. And that's what that big grin was. But when you're a coach and a manager and you see your team playing this well, what is there to not smile about?
It's very fair. There isn't a lot to not smile about from this game. Unless your name is Hikyu and you got given first pick Varus and you've had 5 deaths. Flaxish, they're going to try and add another one onto his death column.
There's an example of cross-map thermodynamics. The Valkyrie burning down the potential retreat path, but it's not hot enough to cut down Flaxish's Maokai. Hylissang is closing the gap from behind, and now a cannon barrage drops down on Giant's head. Exhaust buys time, so Memento can't get the kill. He will finally pick it up, though. It's a 1-for-1 until Nice
Samix is boxing them in.
All right, Samix wants to try cut them off. Where is the root? Where is the root? Deadly Flourish? I'm not sure if he's fired it already.
No, he couldn't get the target indicator on. Here comes Daisy through, though. They want to follow this through.
Why not? Keep chasing and diving. No root for Memento, but Unicorns at 15 minutes are now taking down the inner top lane turret. It's just a gigantic gold lead. I'm actually going to have to check with our stats team what the largest lead at 15 minutes is, but that's 7,300.
And the Unicorns, for a second game in a row, are picking Giants apart. This game, they allow the Varus as the first pick by, you know, Giants basically not prioritizing Ivan, I guess is their mistake on this one. Giants get it, and it gets camped in what should be a lane that pushes out and you play safely. Tahm Kench theoretically shouldn't be able to kill you, but as soon as that flashes down, they've done it time and time again. Now Unicorns move to the other side of the map, and suddenly, although Giants look like they have some fighting power, it doesn't really come up to anything. I mean, this Zilean hasn't done much for them. The Maokai kind of just drops low in the fight and stands there. And the second phase of the fight is just Giants getting picked apart. Exile picks up another kill. He was 6-2-3 by the end of this, and Unicorn still wanted this fight a little sloppy here as they're going further and further past the tower. But, I mean, at that point, why not? They're so far ahead.
They are, and confirming, Stats team has confirmed that is the largest gold lead at 15 minutes in the spring split in 2017. 7,072 gold. And yes, we can be nitpicky. Yes, we can look at some of the sloppiness and the over-eagerness to fight from UOL. But they're still sizably ahead because the Chachi's in a 1-on-2.
She's got Flash and the Orange still available.
But look at the minimap. Because there's an Abyssal Voyage.
Oh no.
Here comes Hilly and Samix. Memento's the target. Teleport comes down from Flaxish. Memento sidesteps, uses the collateral damage to put some distance. Hustlin looks to root down Hilly. Hilly's gobbled up Samix, and it's a turnaround. Giants with a double kill.
Much better out of the Giants turning around, but look at how much they just used for that. And mid lane is now vulnerable with Exile pushing on, so the kills go over to Giants, which is a gain for them, but they're losing a tower, and overall, Unicorns will take that trade. It's messy. That was not an effective trade for them, but they come out ahead still from it. Taking down that mid tower, getting now entrance to the tighter entrances to the jungle is much better for Unicorns. Now they're going to continue on to Flaxis. Chachi wants this.
He really does. The Chrono Shift's going to buy a lot of time, though. It's about to time out.
Oh.
Chachi can't find the kill onto Flaxish. The Chrono Shift was enough there. Knight also used his flash and teleport in that previous engage. Not this fight right now. So Unicorns, maybe with 3 kills conceded, you can argue not as worth. But again, it's not enough for Giants. They have to do that so many more times.
They do.
And for Giants, I'm a little disappointed. I'll expand on that in a moment. Here's a replay of that team fight that started. If you look at the minimap, all of a sudden, Hilly's covering half the river.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an overextend here because look how far away Exile is with obviously no TP, whereas Knight has his. Xerxes is so far away as well. So as they turn around, Hylissang doesn't get his grey health off. Varus has reached a fairly strong point. It's not quite the 2-item spike of the Edge of Night alongside the Ghost Blade, but still it's strong enough that those Qs are really starting to hurt. And from there, Giants, it's a bit of a turnaround, but it's not quite enough. Unicorn's still very far ahead. Yeah,
very far ahead indeed. And you know, for Giants, it's been a tough 4 games. When you think of their 2-0 from G2 last week, one of those was a perfect game. Unicorns of Love have set the largest gold lead at 50 minutes now in this game. And for Giants as a team, you know, they picked up some games. They looked okay against Fnatic. Memento gets a lot of damage. Oh, almost took that tower shot. Cannon Barrage is going to come in a few seconds.
Oh, he's walking over a ward.
Do it.
Oh, hang on. Chachi's going to get himself out alive.
Do it. Oh, defensive Cannon Barrage. This is to catch down Knight. The stun won't land. Man, he should have gone for the kill. Chachi, I think you could have done it.
He could have done it, but he would have had to have mini-mapped it, tried to cast, and...
I believe in him.
I believe in him too.
I believe in him.
He didn't believe in himself, and unfortunately, that's the difference. Yeah. When he's the guy pressing the button, you've got to believe in whoever's got that button that just sends that Cannon Barrage out, Trevor.
And, for Giants, to go back to it, you know, the last 2 series they've played, this being one of them, G2 and UOL, the 2 group leaders, have really shown the gap between the top of the table teams and the bottom of the table teams. And for Giants, it's now week 4.
Yeah.
They're playing the rest of Group B over the next few weeks. And this is a time where you can pick up surprise wins. We can go back to your group with a potential shot at making playoffs.
And it's interesting because a lot of people always want to draw conclusions. Which was the stronger group? Which one, you know, has the better results? Well, if you do the old X beat Y, so that makes the team stronger. I mean, Unicorns look as strong as G2 right now in this game. We'll find out who is stronger because someone has to win that series a little later on in the split.
While UOL look as strong, they do not look as clean.
No.
And that's where I think there's a big difference, right? You've got this Unicorn style, which is fantastically reactive and so well played in the mid to late game fights, but not necessarily the most planned team. Whereas G2 are playing much to the opposite. You know, you're seeing them really trying to coordinate, really try to play the map well. The fact they got a perfect game last week is a testament.
Yeah.
And Giants and Unicorns of Love, you know, they're going to be playing against one another.
G2.
Sorry, G2. I've done that again.
It's okay.
Next week, Thursday. You know, it's our opening game.
Oh, Memento.
All right, Memento's going to look to quick draw
Exile.
away, but on the back end, Exile's going to get caught out. Knights use that Chrono Shift to buy some time. Samix is killed thanks to some good damage from Memento, and Exile's looking to run him down. Firing out that Missile Barrage over and over. Tagging him. And the Abyssal shuts him down. It's a 2-for-1 with Unicorns jumping in. And yeah, next Thursday, G2 versus Unicorns is the top of the table for both groups. And I can't wait to see that because Unicorns should be able to close this one out. Now we're judging how clean, how controlled. What do they give up? What do they concede when they're trying to push the next?
Unicorns are the opposite end of that spectrum to G2 realistically, but Unicorns still able to turn that fight back around. You saw the potency of this Graves jungle that works very effectively with the lethality changes.
Ouchies!
Already gone.
Yeah, ouchies indeed. Hylissang also going to buy some time with Devour, gets Exile out to safety, and Vizichachi takes the tower. So, I mean, pressure in the mid lane. There's no answer in the bottom lane. And Chachi with a 30 CS lead, with a level advantage, is still putting pressure on Flaxish's Maokai.
And he has TP available, so when he eventually recoils away from this, they will have teleport advantage. He can go topside, clear out that wave, impact the map, push the wave back out, and set themselves up for a Baron. Now, in game one, we saw a very early Baron based on the Ivan and the Cassiopeia. I don't think it's quite as simple, but they have a 9-2 and 3 Corki, which has a lot of damage as it is. So they do still have damage to deal with Baron fairly quickly if they want it. Unicorns, this was the setup from the fight. Giants overreach into the mid lane, but still turn things around. Hiku dropped low enough at the beginning of the fight that they could pick him off, but it was the Zillion ultimate that kept him alive. Memento kites down, gets the kill on Samux, but has to run for his life, as there's no way he can output any kind of damage like Exile right now, who's on a monster run in this series. We're into a fight. And it's a double kill. He's already got it.
Of course it's a double kill. Cannon Barrage bought some time. Unicorns will take their third as well. It's just there's nowhere left to go. Knight is trying to use the time warp. Very good sidestep with that movement speed increase. Unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. I mean, Unicorns now can peel back, use Daisy to tank up Baron. That's exactly what they're going to do. Well, 11-2-3 on the Corki.
You know, Knight, he took a step to the left, dodged out on the Rocket Barrage, and honestly, this is a bit of a Rocky Horror Picture Show for the Giants right now, as Unicorns, for the second game in a row, have just an immense lead as we pass 23 minutes.
Illusung does not care. Running down the Zillion, like, it's just tough. Oh, almost caught Jack Hillisung Sparrow. It's just tough because Unicorns are just very clearly a stronger team, you know, on an individual level. So you can go back and you can criticize, pick some bans, you can criticize team fights, etc. But as a team, UOL have 5 stronger players, and they're reacting more decisively and more quickly than Giants. And now Memento got a lot of burst damage, collateral damage, not even going to get shot. Knight has bought some time. Memento. Straight between the crossbars. They're not going to find the damage. Memento escapes with his life thanks to Knight.
Unicorns are with the Baron buff now. We're going to just continue to push this through. They've got the option topside in a moment when they push it out, but now the threat of the dive with the Cannon Barrage, with the Abyssal Voyage, is still there out of the Unicorns. That it's so difficult for Giants to try and clear this. Normally Varus is very good, but look at how fast they turn on him. Yeah, has to flash away. Hustlin's got Stranglethorn's going to need it in the not too distant future. Daisy's almost soloing Daisy's
the entire
1v4.
Giants team. Very good double bomb. Will at least slow down the siege. And the inhibitor turret stands to live a few seconds longer. This captive audience bombs, or traps rather, not really going to do a whole lot. And Unicorns back away, happy with the 12k gold lead. I'm going to play this one safer. Oh, this is the kill that we missed.
Not quite a 1v2, but still great. Still good damage out of Exile. Cannon Barrage helped out just a touch. And that was 2 versus 1. So Hiku, he's excused. Yeah, I mean, just Unicorns using their ultimates so well. Like, looking at Vision, that was Hilly playing very aggressively because he knew he could jump in onto Hiku and shut him down. And not only that, that was Giants playing way out of their territory. For all the joking and you know, trying to bring a little light side to this. Giants, they were pushed up in top side as Unicorns were regrouping on the map. You saw Hiku in the jungle on his own. His support wasn't anywhere near him. There was no vision control from Giants in their own side of the jungle because they can't against this Unicorns team. They get jumped on as soon as somebody from Giants shows up, whether it's Abyssal Voyage, Cannon Barrage, the package, Unicorns pounce and just take them off the map. There are no offensive plays, really, that Giants can make that are going to be a high chance of being effective. And it's just so tough for Giants. Like, look, this is not a series that they were expecting to win. Okay, you know, they're 1 win, 3 losses from the first stage of group play. And they've actually got a really tough schedule. They open cross-group play with Unicorns. Next week, they play H2K. Then they play Splice. And then they finally get to Vitality and Origin. Down the lower half of the table. Hustlin just gets chunked down by big damage from Exile.
And for Giants, this needs to be a learning experience. There's a lot to learn. And then
Exile.
Look at the crit. Cannon Barrage comes down as well. Chrono Shift from Knight keeps him alive, but it's Flaxish's Meowkai that gets flashed on. Hustlin, he gets shot down as well. This double ADC is ripping Giants apart. And Memento, despite his best efforts at 4-4-2, his team's laners have just fallen apart. It's 4 members of Giants down, and the Unicorns, they might be able to push on to the Nexus here, Stress. Hylissang is actually running Memento down. That is ridiculous.
That's game.
Unicorns of Love are destroying Giants' base. And there's simply no one left to defend. The Unicorns of Love destroy Giants. I mean, it's just great performance, you know? I don't really want to stand here and be hypercritical. Because at the end of the day, UOL just outskilled and outfought Giants every single step of the way. And
in 2 games, it looked like they were toying with their food for the majority of it, which, yes, if you want to, you know, look at crisp, clean play, you didn't find it in this series, but the Unicorns gave you good turnaround, good reactive play, and really, really superior skirmish and fighting.
Big smiles on the faces of the Unicorns of Love. It's week 4. In terms of all of the European LCS teams, UOL were one of the most practiced coming into the split. And after 4 weeks of consistent play, they remain #1 team in Group B and taken down their first Group A opponents. But the road gets more difficult from here. Their opponents gain strength, as we've said and alluded to many times. They play G2 next week. Got that one wrong a couple times this cast.
It's okay, it's fine. We'll look forward to that matchup and look forward to what looks to be a very interesting interview soon. They're not quite ready yet.
I mean,
you've got a glimpse of the preview.
G2 next week for UOL, and then Misfits the following week, and then Fnatic the following week. So a lot of exciting things there, especially with you know, Fnatic picking up the new jungle. We're going to see them tomorrow against Vitality. But for Unicorns, it is all sunshines, happiness, and daisies.
Lots of daisy, bouquet of them.
A bouquet of daisies.
As that, I guess that's what you call their pick ban strategy, honestly, over the last few weeks. But coming into the split, losing their AD carry, a jungler that had never played in the EU LCS, everybody was not looking for this out of the Unicorns. 4 weeks in, they look magnificent.
Yeah, they just made a statement win. And to take a closer look at that magical Unicorn stomp, Dracos is on stage with one of the leaders of the herd.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I am, of course, joined by Romeo, manager of the Unicorns of Love. Now, we heard Trevor talk about it a little bit in cast, quick shot rather, but what is going through your head when you see your team playing on stage and playing so well?
Today I was super proud of them. I'm usually super stressed because my job is to make sure they arrive alive on stage. Then they belong to Shippy, and then, well, they have to behave and win, you know. But I cannot do anything, and I'm powerless backstage. And it's between like, oh my God, you still have your ultimate, to oh my hell, yeah, we got it. So it's actually a full-time job to be backstage and to be scared for them.
All right, good. Sorry to hear that it's so stressful, but glad to hear that you're so passionate, so involved in the team. Now, Unicorns of Love, you guys have found a ton of rookies recently. You've been bringing them up. We saw it with Veritas, with Exile. We're now seeing it with Cersei and Samix as well. I'm curious, what is it about the Unicorns of Love as a team, as an organization, that allows you to bring this talent up and to find this talent?
I mean, first, congrats to Shippy and Healy and Visitachi, because they have been members of Unicorns from the start, and they are usually the ones scouting people. I think we're just a big family, and we take care of everyone. It worked so far. So we had those new guys coming in and out, and we treated everyone the same. It turned out great. Sometimes it failed a bit. This current batch of players is actually pretty amazing, I have to say. So let's see how far we can get.
All right, well, glad to hear that. They're obviously doing very well, currently undefeated. Now, looking ahead, you guys have Misfits and G2 on the horizon. Do you think you can keep it an undefeated record? How do you think those matchups are going to go?
Just thinking about it makes me super stressed. I have absolutely no clue. So far, scrims are we're doing really, really well on scrims. So let's see if we can keep that on stage. I hope for a good 1-1 and then a base race at the end against G2, and then we win. That would be perfect.
All right, well, it's good to know. Now you've got the dreams for the series. We'll see how those pan out in weeks to come. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. We're going to send it over to the analyst desk. Shox, Krepo, Vedius, take this one away.
Thank you so much, Dracos. Very nice outfit choice also from Romain. A bit different than from what we saw in Oakland, but yeah. In any case, I love
Has
how...
to keep his shirt on.
Yeah, he does.
Broadcast.
Rules.
We've talked about this before, Vedi. You can't take it off
I know,
either.
I've tried to pitch it many a times, but if Romain has to do it, I have to do it too, you know?
I want to jump on something he said about it's a really great group of players, and I do think that is something that we hear from the Unicorns almost all the time because they have a good atmosphere, but this results-wise seems to be paying off the most, as we've seen.
I think, especially this year, culture seems to be very important within these teams, because we're looking to kind of thread the needle and look for minor improvements within these teams, because every player that comes in knows the basics, right? They know how to play League of Legends, they know roughly how to, like, technically play out a game. So you need to make the difference somewhere, and I think team atmosphere is a really good starting point, and that is something the Unicorns have consistently been building. Like while we sometimes joke about macro, no macro, they've been building this culture, and it has been working out.
They certainly have, and as you rightly said, we've been seeing it throughout the LCS. Misfits, initially the intention of Fnatic was to build a full English-speaking lineup. It does seem to me that culture is a more and more important thing.
Yeah, and let's make the difference here. When we say culture, we don't mean friendship necessarily, right? Because that is not something, or is it something that you think is important?
Well, I think if you can get along,
yeah, that's
it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I think
it's not the case in the Castro crew.
No, definitely not. It's all a mirage here. But I think we need to look at just what kind of... It takes a special kind of player and person to fit into that Unicorns. Like, I couldn't see myself in my playing days kind of day one in the gaming house. I walk in and my manager's walking around shirtless with a unicorn hat on. I'd be like, it doesn't really fit. But every player they've drafted so far seems to kind of fit in and really like the surroundings that they have right there.
Yeah, they're doing very well. And if we look back at the series, this is now their 5th straight series win. And if we look at one of the common denominators, that Ivern for Xerxes is one of the things that have brought them so much success game after game. And
Unicorns are improving in the sense that they used to draft unique picks just to draft unique picks, but they're really making them work this year. And now here we see Ivern every game, and we're highlighting this replay because it just shows you adaptation, right? That ward on red buff proves to be very useful later on.
It certainly does, because he is predicting that Memento is going to try and punish a typical Ivern jungle path where you would start on red, and he's already predicting because he's placed that ward down and they're able to react accordingly.
Yeah, and even if nobody shows, and obviously there's the information, so Xerxes is so tried and tested on this pick, also because Unicorns of Love give him the freedom to try these weird picks out in scrims, because very often when something's not meta, teams will just stick to whatever is meta in the scrim environment, but Unicorns have come out and said it. Teams playing against the Unicorns have come out and said it, that they can play whatever they want, and that means that even when things go wrong, like right here when Samuels dies, this team knows the limits of this champion much better than anybody else. Just watch Hylissang dive back into a full HP minion wave, which you should never do unless you know exactly what you're doing. Get a shield from Ivern, he's gonna flash in, pop that shield, and kill Hustlin. Like, I didn't even see a kill possible here, and they just know exactly the limits of this champion.
They certainly do, and it just brings testament again to the synergy and teamwork that we see time and time again from these Unicorns of Love lineup, because in a situation like that, the majority of teams, even Krepo, you said it yourself, you'd probably back off, you'd accept the loss, and you'd try and move on, but the Unicorns are saying, you know what, we can fight, and everyone's like, let's just do it. They force the play, they make it happen, and that's a large part of why we saw so many fights in this game, and a part of why we saw a lot of back and forth, but it's great to see a very fantastic playstyle from the Unicorns that is working in.
Yeah, and the whole reason that we still highlight some negatives sometimes is because we want to see them go to the next level.
Yeah,
where we need more consistency, and a lot of people think it's like false criticism for the Unicorns, but these guys are now a 5-0 team. You can start criticizing them a little harder in terms of the details, because if they ever want to make it internationally, like they need to switch up the macro play.
Oakland.
Okay, if they want to make it again internationally.
I mean, this is the important thing, right? When we look at the Unicorns, we think this is a team that we now consider one of the best in Europe, right? Especially when you consider their standings. So we have to be critical. We have to look at how they can be the best.
How can they be the best? The best in the series, according to us, player of the series was Exile. No, I didn't say it. He's been doing really, really well. And before we go, the only thing I want to ask you guys is that 5-0, they are now the Unicorns of. They've beaten every single team in Group B. They've beaten the Giants in Group A. What team can't they beat in Group A, Vedius?
G2. I think that I think G2 will punish the mistakes very heavily that we have seen from the Unicorns. They might seem like small mistakes, but for a team like G2, they are big windows of opportunity.
So no other team can beat them?
On paper, like, it depends on the... I don't know when they play Fnatic. The progression for Fnatic could be big. The current Fnatic probably won't beat them. Misfits stand at maybe a chance, but Unicorns definitely is the favorite in all matchups except G2, which means top 2 team.
That does mean a top 2 team, and that is one of the best, I think, predictions we've been able to do about them in the beginning of the season since they've started in the LCS. Fantastic feat. The Unicorns of Love, they are our first winners of the night, and we'll find out who will join them when G2 takes on H2K in a best of 3 right after the break. See you in 3.5.